Now, I know that everybody is losing their mind after seeing Alex Caruso get traded for Josh Giddey last night or sometime yesterday afternoon. But I'm here to let you all know the trade for Josh Giddey is showing, or at least a start, for the Chicago Bulls to say, hey, it's time for a change. Y'all know we're going to talk about it because I'm bike. But you know you got to hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Shot Bulls Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby, here today, holding it down for me and C-Dub on today's daily episode. If you're tuned in with me today, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it does feel like I'm preparing to take a YouTube passport picture, but it's okay. I'm up at a new location. We getting set up, but you guys are the number one reason I'm still here and still doing it. So we're going to rock out and talk about Josh Giddey today. Now, before we talk about everything Josh Giddey, we got to get ahead and talk about the number one thing that I've been seeing online. And I understand it's jokes and giggles and stuff. We're calling this man P. Giddey. That's why we say no Diddy. But this guy ain't really got nothing going on with him right now. He wasn't charged by the league. He wasn't facing any charges. Let's go ahead and pipe down on the P. Giddey stuff because he's now one of our own and he is innocent until proven guilty. And as of right now, he's not guilty. So we're going to go ahead and omit the P. Giddey stuff, but we still will say no Diddy. But this is no relation into Josh Giddey. No relation into Josh Giddey. But now on to the basketball. So yesterday, the Chicago Bulls pulled themselves off and got on the phone with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they traded for Josh Giddey. That said player that was a Chicago Bull that is now heading to OKC is Mr. Headbed himself, Alex Caruso. I love Alex Caruso. I love everything that Alex Caruso brings to a basketball team, whether you're a crappy team like the Chicago Bulls or his new team, who's number one seed this past season in the Oklahoma City Thunder. Alex Caruso, excuse me. Alex Caruso is a guy that you can place into any situation, and he's going to go out and show you exactly why you need 5 of Alex Carusos on your team. But nonetheless, Alex Caruso was traded just straight up for a player. And that's where it has gotten a lot of people upset. And I understand it from this, I understand it from their standpoint because you want to see the Chicago Bulls try to accumulate some draft picks. Fair enough. And I understand that. But, hey, I say it like this. We don't know how these trade talks went. We really don't know. Now, we don't know if Oklahoma City Thunder reached out to the Chicago Bulls or if the Chicago Bulls reached out to Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, no draft capital has been involved in this trade. So it tells me, and I'm just trying to connect the dots here, I can 100% be wrong, but it seems like the Bulls reached out to the Oklahoma City Thunder. And everybody knows, at least for those who have been in contract negotiations with whatever job that you are in, or negotiations when it comes to going up to your boss and saying, hey, I want some more money or something like that, anything. You know, once you're the one who makes the call first, you lose leverage. So if the Chicago Bulls made the call first, they absolutely lost leverage. Now, I know that's going to be, well, AK should have negotiated better. AK should have said this. AK should have did that. And rightfully so. You have the right to feel that way because Sam Presti with the Oklahoma City Thunder got picks galore. So we like, damn, Sam, you ain't want to give us one? You ain't want to give us one? So it's very, very understandable to where a lot of Bulls fans are kind of upset that there is no draft capital included in this deal. But at the same time, there's no player that the Bulls could trade for like a Josh Giddey. You say, Bobby, you sound crazy. He's not even that good. I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to say Josh Giddey is a 21-year-old prospect or a player who has high upside still and who can be a key piece for the Chicago Bulls. When we talk about this trade, Yes, it seems a little bit lopsided. And right now, it seems as if the Oklahoma City Thunder won this trade because they absolutely did for right now. But Josh Giddey is 21 years old. Alex Caruso is 30. So you mean to tell me that you get a young player who we know what he can do versus going out and taking a shot and drafting somebody and you don't know if this young guy is going to pan out? You don't know if this guy's going to struggle to get playing time. You don't know if this guy's going to be the next Chandler Hutchison for the Chicago Bulls, the next Denzel Valentine for the Chicago Bulls, the next Cristiano Felicio for the Chicago Bulls. Do y'all see how painful it is to ring off those names? Why? Because Josh Giddey is a better prospect and player than those three players ever was. Period. Denzel Valentine had summer league on lock, and after that, he never found his way again. That's what it was. It was probably the zesty ass tongue out celebration after hitting the shot. I don't know. Y'all tell me. I don't know. But nonetheless, you get a guy at Josh Giddey who can come in, who's going to give you something offensively, not much defensively, but he gives the Chicago Bulls what they've been lacking for the last few seasons. Some of you guys have been holding out hope to see Lonzo Ball return. I've been gave up that hope. And I'm not saying that Josh Giddey is going to have the passing ability as a Lonzo Ball. I'm not saying that Josh Giddey's going to come out and be the defender that Lonzo Ball is, because he's absolutely not going to be in that regard on the defensive end. But what he can bring is size, because he's a 6'8" guard. He comes in, he doesn't take away from anybody that's on this team, and he can add another element to the Chicago Bulls. What's winning right now? Bigger league guards. You got your SGAs. You got your Edwards, your bigger guards. You got your Luka Doncic's, whether his finals was horrible, but you still had a bigger guard to go ahead and initiate some offense to see what he can potentially provide for a team. And I believe Josh Giddey can provide a lot of those things that the Chicago Bulls need. Now, when we talk about the Chicago Bulls, a lot of people are clamoring and saying that the Bulls got worse. What's worse than finishing 10th in 2 consecutive 9th and 10th in the play-in? What's better than that? Finishing 10th? If we finish 9th, is it worse? Is it so much worse to finish 10th? No. This is the Eastern Conference. The Bulls can absolutely still keep Josh Giddey around and still finish 10th. And guess what? It's the same exact result from the previous seasons. So me right now, as it stands, yes, I love Alex Caruso, but Josh Giddey is the future now. This is a signal that the Bulls are really standing on business, at least for right now. They haven't fully stepped on the square, but they put a toe on the square to stand on business. Now, if they go out and they move Zach, you let DeMar walk, you do something with Nikola Vucevic that means something, or you try to get more younger players in here, that's how the Bulls can stand on business. But right now, for the stand on business block, the Bulls got a toe on it because they said enough with this. And that's what we've been wanting. It's not going to be everything that we want it to be. It's not going to go out and be every trade. It's not going to make sense when you read the trade. But if you start looking at how these guys are constructing something, now you get a guy in Josh Giddey who can come in and be your point guard, or he can be that guy that can go ahead and initiate a lot of the stuff. We know that Kobe White has point guard capabilities, and I believe he can still grow into that. But as me and C-Dub talked about on yesterday's live, if you didn't catch it, go ahead and check it out. I pretty much came out and said, look, there were a lot of times to where Kobe White, as the point guard last season, deferred to Ayo Dosunmu, deferred to DeMar DeRozan to initiate some offense and gave up the ball. And you've seen Kobe White be off ball and still be just as much as productive. So Josh Giddey, we bring him into that situation. Now, when a lot of people talking about the downfall from last season, look, it happens. It was the worst season of his young career. But the year before that, Josh Giddey was on one. You know what I'm saying? Josh Giddey was doing his thing the year before that. He was pretty much doing everything that the Oklahoma City Thunder needed him to do and all that stuff. And it wasn't taken away from anybody else on the team. And that's what I want to really harp on this point and drive this point home. There was some discussion. Even my own counterpart said that he feels that Josh Giddey will take away from Kobe White. I absolutely disagree with that. Let his best season in 2022 and 2023, Josh Giddey gave the Oklahoma City Thunder 16.6 points, 6.2 assists, and 7.9 rebounds. That's a stat line you want to see. You mean to tell me I'm trading for a guy? No, he's not going to be the defensive player that Alex Caruso is. But if this guy who I wants to pin in as a starter is going to come in and give my team 16, 6, and 8, 16, 6, and 8 every single night, I'm okay with that. And another reason why I'm saying that he's not going to take away from anybody else on this Chicago Bulls team is because while he was averaging 16 points, he only shot a total of 11.6 attempts from the, you know what I'm saying, per game, pretty much as 2-point attempts, and only had 3 attempts from the 3. So he's not a high volume shooter. He's going to be a guy that's going to play within the system. And this guy is pretty damn smart. He has exceptional passing ability. He's a solid passer. So he's not going to take away from anybody. If anything, he's going to add to other guys. And I say with the size that you're getting him at 6'8", 210 or something like that, I think somebody mentioned. I definitely know he's 6'8". Yeah, 210 pounds according to ESPN. This guy's really going to be able to add to the Bulls. It's not the best trade right now. Let's keep it a buck. It's not the best trade, but he ain't taking away from nobody. And let's keep it real. The Lonzo Ball stuff has hovered around the Chicago Bulls for the last 3 years. The DeMar DeRozan uproar has continued for the past 2 seasons. Once Zach LaVine went down and said he wants to get traded, everybody was up in arms, including myself. And we asked for the Bulls to do something and change this and clamored and said on our live calls, be there for next season. By the way, it's going to be even more litter. For the live calls, we was like, damn, man, I'd rather watch the young pups. I'd rather go out there and see Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Julian Phillips, Patrick Williams, Dalen Terry play. We was like play Orlop team. So that was a bunch of young guys. Why don't you add on to this young team who you want to have an inspiring young roster? Let's just get rid of all the nonsense. We ain't going nowhere. I had a comment yesterday and pretty much said that, hey, you guys don't want to win a championship no time soon. Hey, buddy, did you think we was going to win a championship tomorrow? No, it's not happening. The Bulls have to build this thing up and build it the correct way. I believe Josh Giddey is a good start. The trade, don't get me wrong. Let's make this clear. The trade is not a good trade in my opinion. But when you talk about the player for player, it's a W in that regard. It's a W in that regard because now you get a guy who needs a change of scenery, who can come in and help you be productive and produce in different ways. And if the Bulls are concerned about his 3-point shooting, what's the fucking point of investing in a shooting department or player development crew? And if you're not going to utilize that crew or that development team to help improve young players' play. He's still 21 years old. And in last season, he actually upped his 3-point shooting by 1 percentage point. That's it. So he went from 32 to 33. There's still room to grow. And me personally, for a guy like Josh Giddey, I need him to facilitate my offense. You go ahead and get some buckets every now and then. If you're going to give me 16, 6, and 8, I'm cool with that every single night. I am cool with that. That's why you got to depend on other guys, your Ayo Dosunmus, your Kobe Whites, your Patrick Williams, who are much better 3-point shooters than this guy, to improve, to step up, to hit the knockdown 3. And look, I understand we talk crap about him. Catfish, Javon, Leroy Carter. We talked about him, but he's still a 3-point shooter. That's most likely probably still going to be on this team. I don't know. But for right now, we got to pump the brakes because the last point to drive it home to show that the Bulls are really ready for change. It was reported by Adrian Wojnarowski, dropped the Woj bomb. The Bulls have been reported to be determined to find a replacement for Lonzo Ball. Stay tuned for more conversation about that later, for real, because I know everybody loved them some Lonzo Ball, including myself. I gave up a long time ago, clocked in, turned in my key, punched out, whatever analogy you want to use. But I'm good with that. We move on. We see what's to it. We can go ahead and see what the Chicago Bulls will continue to do. AK said that, hey, everything is on the table. They came in, they changed over the coaching staff. You got more experienced guys on your coaching staff now that has head coaching experience and has a decent track record, or at least if not a good one. Now you start making moves with these players. I think the only guys that should not be traded, in my eyes, from the Chicago Bulls is Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu. Everybody else can go. Everybody. I'm not even joking. I might sit on Patrick Williams. I might, because you cannot coach what he has physically. This is a versatile defender. This is a guy who's your best three-point shooter. Literally. The stats say it all. So you still got moves to make. It's okay, y'all. I understand somebody going to come up here and throw a little uproar and go crazy on me, but it's okay. It's okay, y'all. And while I'm sitting right here behind my passport background, it's okay. I can't wait to continue to rock on. We're going to continue to bring this stuff. We back. We're going to continue to update y'all on all the Chicago Bulls stuff and continue to talk this talk so we can work this thing out, hopefully, for the Chicago Bulls, and they go ahead and take some of our advice. I know we ain't in the damn room. I know we pretty much don't really matter much to these guys. It's the bottom line for them. But hopefully something that we said over here on Shy Bulls podcast, or one of our other brothers like Hayes, Pat the Designer, Steve-O, whoever, Big Kev, something that we say kind of resonates or finds its way up there through Twitter war and finds its way up there to the guys in the front office to see if we can make these changes. But until then, that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of Shy Bulls podcast. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac. Gang.